How much will GEHA pay for my crown? Get answers, get GEHA. Hi, how you doing? Hi. Okay, how are you? Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Are you having a good court? Good, perfect. Be healthy, who? Achoo! Achoo! Ah. Yeah. We gotta be ready. That dog went by. Hi. Hi.
I knew about the first of all. I knew about the
Hi.
How's the hound?
Okay. Thanks for asking. How's your family?
Beautiful dog.
Yeah, God does good work, doesn't God?
Okay, thank you.
Maybe the drone could track the dog and the dog could go into dangerous situations.
Right. Okay. Yep. I'll end it that way. We're gonna be okay, aren't we?
Yeah, come on, jumping, but yeah, I think we're good.
do that with your car battery? Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, the car battery's probably so it takes me a couple minutes. I know it's good.
I want to try to hear what the news is. Perfect, be healthy, who?
This involves a man who was estranged from his wife, and after they separated and she took the children, he began sending a series of messages speculating about how you could kill a person after she got a restraining order. He said, hold it up, put it in your pocket, would it stop a bullet? After the FBI came to see him, he put another message up saying, I was wearing a bomb, it's a good thing I could have blown that agent up. And he was convicted, and what the Obama administration is saying today is that his conviction should be upheld, that the test should be whether a reasonable person seeing those messages would have considered them a threat. But his lawyer said, no, that will chill too much speech. The test should be what was in his mind. What did he intend? Did he intend to cause fear? That is the question here. The justices, Andrea, are clearly troubled by either extreme. Chief Justice Roberts said today, if you have teenagers talking in sarcastic ways on a chat room, a gaming chat room, what's the test? A reasonable teenager? So they were all over the map here on what the test should be. Interestingly, Antonin Scalia, who's one of the big defenders of free speech, said twice today, well, if we did restrict this, if we did say that the test is what a reasonable person would think, what's the value of protecting this kind of threat speech? Unusual for him. One other point today, Andrea, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who underwent a procedure last week to have a stent put in her heart. She was in the hospital about 24 hours. She was back on the bench today and back to asking her usual number of questions during oral argument. Thank you. You bet.
Thanks, man.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Do any of the justices own internet stock or have health care plans?
Oh, they all have health care plans through the government, of course.
Should they be in a blind trust so they can hear ACA cases without bias?
I think most of their health care stock is in a blind trust. They're not their health care plans, but their stock.
Well, their plan itself perhaps should be in a blind trust, with the provision that random sampling could end up, they get an exemption and they could have Medicaid or Medi-Cal covering them.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, so I see you guys again at what is it now? 104? Okay, very good.
How are you? About the same age as the Virgin Mary was when she gave birth to Jesus in human years.
It's pretty playful still, huh?
Yeah, it's tough having to wait so much to come outside. But yeah, the dog's doing a good job. And how's your family?
Huh?
And how are you and your family?
Oh, pretty good.
Good.
We're pretty good.
Good. Glad to hear it.
What's the issue today? Oh, it's the internet thing, right? It's the thing where the kid made some violent slurs or whatever on the internet.
Yeah, the question seemed to be, do you evaluate the free speech in terms of what a reasonable person would infer or feel from the speech, or do you evaluate the speech based on what is in the mind of the speaker?
That's it. Well, you're kidding. That's pretty esoteric. That's pretty.
Yeah, they did.
You'd think it'd be a little more subjective than that. Yeah, that's pretty like the mind of the speaker versus the mind of the hearer. Yikes.
The environment in which it's said should probably have some control, because like in crowded movie theater,
Oh yeah, yeah.
no
yeah,
matter
yeah.
if you say fire, you're going to hurt people.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But if you say it on the internet where it's, assumed it's a wild and crazy place,
Yeah. And how did they come down?
I don't know.
Oh, they haven't made a
They
decision yet.
sort of have the oral arguments and then decide later, I guess.
Do people get to watch it anymore, or is everything pretty much closed off?
There's a small courtroom, and you can stand in line to get a seat for the whole argument, or get in a 3-minute line and go in briefly and then come back out and try again.
Oh yeah, because once upon a time, I mean, not that long ago, you could kind of hear the arguments in the whole bit, couldn't you?
Yeah, they don't have. You can still hear them in person. They make an audio recording of the proceedings, but they don't have a video transcript yet, despite the fact the third base coaches of the world. You might want to question that.
So how long ago was there a gallery? There was. You could go into a gallery at the Supreme Court and at the Congress not that long ago, right? Was that before 9/11?
There still is. There was before 9/11 and after. They kept that. There's even a locker system here in the court, so you can check your electronics and stuff yourself and get a key, as opposed to over here where you have to give everything to a person to put in a tray.
Oh, okay. Boy, what a difference, huh, after 9/11 as far as just access to stuff. I mean, I understand it, but...
Sure, any excuse for the local mafia to clamp down, man, they love it. But you still do not have to show photo ID to get in the U.S. Supreme Court.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Because when you have really wealthy mafias that have a small number of people in them, they don't want to have to identify themselves. They want the privacy. But as you go outwards and the mafias get larger and more poor, what the hell? Let's get everybody's ID. We all know each other. We'll find out who the competition is. And on top of that, they've got Article 2.
Yeah.
Article 2, the executive branch, handles all the federal courts' security. So when you go to file a lawsuit in a federal district court, Article 3, Article 2 looks at your ID and makes any notes they want, and they know everybody that has business at Article 3, which violates the separation of powers.
Wow. Were you an attorney or...
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'd like to find an attorney who would care enough to want to follow through on these things. The ACLU writes me a letter, says, thanks for joining our ACLU and paying dues, and thanks for all your unnecessary lawsuits. Good luck.
Boy, they don't mess around with the buildings here, do they?
In terms of
extravagance and just like, my God, I've never seen so much marble and granite in my life.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's the same thing Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR felt. I have a... Well, that's you, I guess.
Oh. Yeah. Hi, Annie. Good. I'm at the Supreme Court. I'm waiting with one of the Supreme Court justices out here in front of the Supreme Court. He has his pup.
The outdoor justice.
They're making a decision on an internet page. I mean, not internet. It was somebody who was on Facebook or something and said something violent, and so they're making a decision as to whether or not that's acceptable or not. Kind of. Love you too, Annie. So I'm just hanging out here. I love you too. So I'll talk to you later. I'm gonna go back and then work out and then I'll see you when you get home. What time do you be home? Regular time? Okay. Bye-bye.
Well, good for you to coordinate a schedule. I say good for you to coordinate a schedule.
No, I'm totally. No, we live in Hawaii actually. We're just my wife has a job over here for a while, so I'm just kind of walking around. I mean, in Hawaii, you know, you're so divorced from all of this that it's really almost like a movie coming here. And,
yeah, that's what Franklin Delano Roosevelt said
Really?
about all the marble and the granite. When he was asked, can we build a Pentagon for the War Department?
Yeah.
He said, as long as there's no marble in it. Because his theory was that wars were fought over the money and resources to get the marble to build the buildings.
Well, this ain't. Is this marble? Look at that thing.
Yeah.
I remember they just had a bunch of stuff around it, right? They had
Inside and
scaffolding.
out, I think. Yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah, I think it's inside and out, a lot of
Can
marble.
you believe it? Just like granite and stuff.
Well, you know, when you lack content, you go for form. So it says, you know, equal justice under law. They try to give it authority. It should say like equal and sufficient justice. So you see.
Wow. So what happened here? Did they not paint it the right color, or what happened?
Good. This is
Looks like
cracks
a
in
cheap fix.
the dome. A bunch of Hispanics being employed to repair the dome. Every few years they do that.
Yeah, that's a inexpensive fix.
There's severe cracks in the dome to the point of, you know, it having to be removed or replaced, and they keep trying to repair it enough to.
It's steel, right? Isn't it steel?
I don't know.
Yeah,
cast
I
iron,
think it's
steel.
cast iron,
Did they
yeah.
have
Oh,
steel
that's
back
right.
then?
They probably did, but yeah, you're right. It's cast iron.
Yeah.
So I guess they're. So some guy. I mean, most of them don't even know what the hell they're doing up there. But a couple guys told me that they're fixing it. They're wiring it together and epoxying it with those cracks after the earthquake, and then they're putting in bulletproof windows.
Wow.
Have to be a hell of a shot to get into the window and shoot a congressman.
Yeah. Chris Christopherson and his buddies made a movie where the special effects in their movie had the place blow up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I guess he could get away with it because he put it in a movie instead of on Facebook. The context of how much money you have and how you say it.
So you lived here a long time?
Yeah, probably too long. About half my life on and off.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We need to build a second national capital near the Rocky Mountains and split our sessions to better unite our country.
That would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you'd have half the distance to travel to come visit, and then we could make it bigger and design it right and accommodate all the Asians and Hispanics we want to inculcate into our way of life.
Yeah. It's totally different in Hawaii. I mean, definitely, it's much different than it is here.
Yeah, Hawaii. I visited there in 1973.
Huh. Do you like it?
Yeah, it was pretty balmy and stuff. You could live outside pretty easily.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it's really pretty. It's kind of you're kind of far. When are you going to give? You got to give him the hairdo there.
Yeah, I try to wait for the opportune moment, and then I can get in there. Otherwise, the dog thinks it's a game.
He thinks everything's a game.
Yeah.
I went to pet him, and he's like, "You want to jump in my lap?" That's why I thought he was a little pup. You know, he loves to play. What a beautiful dog you have, man.
Yeah, God does good work. I got the dog not knowing much about the breed, and my doctor prescribed a dog for me for my obesity so I could train the dog to run beside the bicycle and work on that. And the dog has learned to run beside the bike, but I'm still obese. Huh?
What is it, a wolfhound, right?
Yeah, Afghan hound.
They're real expensive too, aren't they?
Not any purebred dog. The puppies cost like $600 or $800, and
Yeah, he a baby. Yeah, you could catch your daddy. Yeah. Want to play with your daddy? Yeah.
That's one thing I did teach the dog, to jump up when the dog wants to,
It's
and
a smart dog, man.
tries to prevent me from getting too hypnotized when I get in long conversations. Jump up, hey, Bill, Mohammed, remember me?
It's amazing how dogs with little brain cavities are so smart.
Yeah.
I mean, they're definitely. Yeah, they're super smart dogs.
There's that certain part, and then they get to a point, I don't want to know about that, sort of, and they let it go. Whereas ours, I think that's how we hold on to it.
Yeah, they don't have sleeping problems. They don't sleep disorders.
Yeah. Something like, what a car is, or they figure something out, they'll do it once, but they won't repeat it. They'll do something really brilliant, but...
So, Ruth's back on the bench, huh? She's back in action?
Yeah, my suggestion to Eleanor Holmes Norton was to impeach Ruth Baden Ginsburg for having a health care plan that wasn't in a blind trust.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's bias. She knows what her health care plan is.
Yeah, what's up with that?
And then the ACA case comes, and she's going to make sure, however she rules, that her health care plan's in good shape. But if she didn't know what her health care plan was, because a blind trust managed it,
That's a good point.
then she would be more fair. I got to make sure all the health care plans are equally good, because I might have to go to the hospital.
That's a good point. What's
And
up
then
with that?
Ruth is old enough, she's like, old enough, she would love to lose the case and be impeached successfully by Eleanor Holmes Norton and set a precedent, because all the other justices' health care plans are probably not in the blind trust either, right?
Well, I'm sure they know what's going on, unlike you and I,
And they might even be getting special deals because the salesman says, hey, I've got to get this client. Let me give you 15% off.
Yeah, and like money, that's all right. Let's just take a piece of marble off the side of the building. They'll pay for another 40 years.
So they got 2 new trees out here. They used to be old trees. And the end of the story was that all the Supreme Court justices get impeached and Barack Obama gets to appoint 9 new ones, like the 2 new trees out here. Franklin Delano Roosevelt tried to pack the court, right?
That's right.
But here's an inside job. You get one of the justices to intentionally lose the impeachment case. Yes, I did know my health plan. Yes, it did influence me when I voted for ACA. Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty funky, man. Yeah, I never thought about that. That's true. I mean, that was totally bad news.
Yeah, justice is supposed to be blind.
Right.
Blind enough to hear.
Yeah, I thought, what is his name, Roberts? I thought he was gonna throw the thing, but shoot, he went along with the game plan.
Sure, yeah, to keep all the businesses interested, like the insurance companies are making out like bandits. They have enforced customers coming to them thanks to Obama.
Yeah, it's gonna friggin' another 2, especially guys like our age, man. Another year or 2, we're gonna be going, what the hell happened?
Yeah, I'm paying the $600 a year fine and self-paid. I looked at the plans. I was eligible. It would be.
Oh, you could make them out. You could figure it out.
$1,000 a month, $3,000 a month, or something for a low end.
You could actually figure it out.
Barely, yeah. It was like a retarded website, huh? Yeah, very confusing, and all these exemptions or co-pays and percentage different.
It's a head scratcher. Yeah.
It should be like sewer, water, and health insurance, a public utility. And instead of the employers providing the health insurance, it should be the government. With the employers having the option maybe to offer it, but not having to be reliant upon your employer to get a decent health insurance plan.
It's in Hawaii, it's been a law for a long time that the employee, and I think it's about the only state where the employees have to provide health insurance, and it works pretty good there. But when you get politicians trying to figure out a business deal like that versus a business owner trying to figure out a business deal, it's a freaking mess.
Yeah.
You know, like Pelosi goes, oh yeah, let's just pass it, you know, and just so we can find out what's in it, type thing, you know, and everyone's scratching their head. So yeah, business people, and so they did it pretty good in Hawaii. You know, it works pretty good. Of course, you have to have a job to have it, but you know, everyone's got it.
Anyone who has a job can get this insurance.
Yeah, you have to give it to them. I mean, I've got a bunch of employees, and they've all got health insurance. I mean, it's been that way since I've owned the business in the 70s. So it works good, but business people are, and then you also can go in and you have to pay like 95% of your employees' plan. So, you know, you usually pay the whole thing. But you can go in and negotiate and get the best. I mean, you're going to get the best deal because you're paying for it. So you're going to go in and, you know, and business people are much better than politicians at negotiating. It's a business deal, basically, right? I mean, you know, your health care plan is money. You know, how much is it going to cost you? What is it going to cover? Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, when politicians try to do business, it's just really screwy. I don't think there is much of a business
But people, aren't people,
impact here.
shouldn't the consumer be a good negotiator with the help of Ralph Nader and the business? You don't want to have to pay for it. You want your employees to be able to negotiate the best plan so everyone's endowed with a decent health care plan. And, well, you might want to have them dependent on you so you don't lose your employees. See, it's a good surf, so I'll give you health insurance.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a benefit. But it's, you know, most people like it. A lot of people come to work there just so they can get good health. It's got great health care. I mean, it's really good health care.
Yeah, and that's...
No, they usually do a good job of doing it because they want their employees to be healthy and to get back on work and all that.
You should get paid to consult with your employees so that they can negotiate the health care plans that are best for them, and they can be mobile. Keynesian economics assumes a mobile labor force. So anything that is done to reduce the mobility of the labor force violates Keynesian economic principles of supply and demand.
Yeah, but if you have 30 employees and they're all out there trying to negotiate, and then you might as well just do the Obama thing, you know, and just have a big website that's fucked up and
no. Instead of them having to negotiate, you and they together would make sure that when you got your driver's license or your birth certificate, then you got this health care plan that covers you really well.
Yeah, and it's great. It's a good health care plans.
And then if you want additional on top of that, I guess the employer could provide it, but we would all have health care insurance and could walk into there should be a community clinic within like 50, 100 yards of any hospital emergency room.
Yeah.
No, you can't. You're not an emergency. Go to the community clinics 100 yards that way. Can you make it? We'll help you. Here's a wheelchair. They don't think like that.
Yeah, no, you don't go to emergency rooms in Hawaii. No, you get great health care. It works out great.
Well, I'll have to study Hawaii more. That sounds good.
Because you're going to want good stuff. I mean, you have 100 employees, man. You want to make sure they're got their butts covered because you want them back at work. Unless they're shitty employees, then it's like you're probably going to
the Walmart spiral downwards. The Walmart spiral where they all get minimal amount of anything.
I think that's just because they're nationwide and they can't get it together, right? I think they're just all over the place, so they can't really.
They're too big, and the employees are too fractionated and divide and conquer sort of thing. Whereas you have a small group and can negotiate.
Yeah, but it is great.
But like we had the Hobby Lobby case here, and they complained that we don't want to provide birth control with our company insurance because of our religion. And that's another example where you should be able to go up to any police officer or fire department and say, give me a pack of public health and safety condoms. And just give them. The police officers and firemen, they hand them out.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's not a huge issue.
But it was a pretty big issue here on the company-provided insurance because the government wasn't providing any. It should be like a utility. The biggest sin is that we are so undercapitalized. The balance sheet of the United States is criminally undervalued
Yes, thanks.
Yeah.
based on the next like 1 billion years or less that we have left before
Where does he want to go to? McDonald's or something? What's that?
he probably wants to go to the Senate lawn and run around. Hasn't emptied out yet.
That's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Pretty patient with that.
Yeah, has to wait a lot for it. We got a good bike ride yesterday finally. That was good. Hawaii makes me think of the gender orientation issues and how shallow the popular conception is. My roommate at Harvard turned me on to Carl Jung's book, Man and His Symbols. And in that book, Carl Jung says that there's animus and anima. And not only does your body have a gender, but your brain has a gender, and they can be somewhat independent.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. That's true.
So some disc jockey in Alaska, I don't know how, in 1997 said, "I just discovered I'm a lesbian trapped in a man's body."
Break some sound bites, maybe? They're a little, like a white flash. Down there.
The environment in which the statement is made.
It's in the museum.
A movie theater versus Facebook.
Don't disrupt the guy now.
He likes me. He kind of reeled me in here on his first announcement earlier.
Like the pod.
I've kind of learned 3 breaths or less. It's kind of charity. If you take more than 3 breaths, you're asking for charity. Ark. Joan of Arc came up in Dennis the Menace this morning. And the Ark of the Covenant is about the Ark of the Holy Scriptures. So the Bob Dylan played Newark, New Jersey after his show here. The next night he did a show in Newark, New Jersey. It's a pretty fast transition. Yeah, I was amazed.
I mean, that guy's got to be, was he 70-something now?
Yeah, he did a good show here.
Oh, he did? Wow.
I was fortunate enough to have 2 tickets.
Rise. Never turn me down. See you later.
Makes you wonder what the Pope thinks about the issue.
Yeah, he's been all around the block about Dylan as far as his he's been into Judaism and Christianity.
Yeah.
Doctor.
You got to serve somebody.
It's a beautiful shot.
These guys don't get to use their tripods on the, they could do a beautiful circular rotation and then come in on the newscaster and,
Kid, you and I on the side.
yeah,
Good
but
looking guys hanging out.
that's how I would start it. I'd have the newscaster on his cell phone or looking at the screen of his cell phone and have the people at the studio talking, but on the screen behind them you'd see the newscaster looking at his phone, and then you'd see this nice 360 pan by the cameraman, and then they would be talking a lead-in about what this guy's going to address, and then when the circle came back to him, he'd look up from his phone and be ready to talk.
Your pup's got a girlfriend or boyfriend. Uh-oh. It's coming this way.
Yeah, any dog is hungry for
Look at this.
communion.
Like totally,
Yeah.
totally focused.
Yeah, that's the hunting instinct, as opposed to the herders.
Oh no, this is love. this is total love. Is this a girl?
This is Mecca or Liberty. I kind of try to avoid gender till we get to puppies. So many glass ceilings and stuff. Lassie was a male dog.
Oh, was she? Really?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that if she's a female, she's a babe in the dog world.
You're sure if she's a female what?
She's a babe.
A babe. Oh.
Oh, yeah, are you kidding him? Yeah,
Yeah. Well, you're such an interesting person. Should I ask what kind of business you do in Hawaii? Or?
I manage resort properties and stuff like that. So, and then my wife is an astronomer.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that can be a heavy mafia business, those resort properties.
Well, over there it's pretty much Americans and Japanese and stuff like that. But yeah, here
In Florida, I went down to Summer Bay Resorts. Wow, it's like a Disneyland for mafia real estate. They intimidate you, but you sort of still feel kind of safe. Did you ever hear of Jake Erner? He was in real estate on Oahu. Or?
Oh, okay.
He was
Not Jay Scheidler.
Jay Scheidler. Can't quite hear what he's saying. I need a hearing aid, or my iPhone needs an app. I gotta find my iPhone. You can turn your iPhone into a shotgun mic now and hear like all the way over to the corner there and stuff simply by downloading an app.
Gotta watch out for this app. So I just did the flashlight app, and it turns out a lot of the apps now are actually, you know, how come this thing takes like 5 billion gigabytes? You know,
It's
and because
tracking you.
oh yeah, they're totally tracking.
Yeah.
So a lot of
There ought to be some kind of
China, somehow
government
they're tracking it for
seal
some
of
reason.
approval that this does not track you. And if it doesn't have the seal, they can still sell it, but you learn to look for the... Hawaii is not that far from Tahiti.
No,
And
actually, my dad's grandmother was Tahitian.
Wow.
And then there was the Kamehamehas in Hawaii and the Palmaris in Tahiti, and Napoleon's brother went to Tahiti and had a baby with one of the Palmaris, and they came up to Hawaii, and so they kept the name Napoleon, so his name is Napoleon.
All the government should have to prove is what was proven in this case. What would a reasonable person think upon reading what was posted on Facebook? But the lawyer for Anthony Alona said, no, that's not the test. The test should be, what did he mean? Did he mean to cause fear? That should be the test, not what a reasonable person should think. In other words, the question here is, which intent do you look at? What the sender had in mind, or what the person receiving these things online had in mind? Now, the lawyer for Alona says it's impossible to get the normal kind of context you have. All kinds of people can read what you post on Facebook. They may not know what the context is. They may not understand that he was only kidding. But the government says that all this talk about how he was kidding, these rap lyrics, that is a smokescreen here. And what really you should look at is whether or not these postings put his wife in fear, which they did. Now, interestingly, the question here is whether this should be protected speech. And of course, there are some categories of speech that are not protected, like fighting words, obscenity, and so forth. So the question is this going to be a new category, true threats, that don't get First Amendment protection? And interestingly, Antonin Scalia, who's normally a big champion of free speech, said twice today, you know, maybe we wouldn't lose much of value if we said that these kinds of internet threats will be illegal.
happened is the guy was threatening his wife
Yeah,
on the internet.
yeah.
So I guess it was. I guess the receiver
There's
is
nothing in
pretty.
the 3 o'clock.
What are the odds the guy did it on purpose to shut down the internet?
Well, he sure did it on purpose.
He was angry at his wife. Maybe he's angry at the world.
See ya.
God willing, who hopes?
He's a nice guy.
Yeah. He's NBC. I don't know his name. He's been here for years and years.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. He's pretty.
What happened to your girlfriend, huh? Where'd your boyfriend go?
Yeah, he's bummed.
Well, should I try to keep in touch with you? Or,
Well, are you around here much?
yeah, I just walk
over
around.
here. Yeah, my wife's doing astronomy here for about 7 months, so
Wow.
I'm going to see you.
Okay, God
I
willing.
can catch I'll tune into your iPod. And
You
I'll see
can
your
look it
pod.
on the internet if you want to see it. It's at one of the least, all one word, one of the least
Okay.
.wordpress.com.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're happy.
Yeah, you can, boy.
I'm
whatever.
Bill or Mohammed, and I'm
Okay,
pleased to
Steve.
meet you, Steve.
Yeah.
All right.
Bless you, man. Good to see you.
Likewise.
Have a good day.
As unto you, Steve. Hi. Hi. Good luck. What's the story here? Hi. Let's shut down the internet and make inflammatory statements and scare everybody that they might get arrested if they're not super careful. Hi. Rock Creek boxes to sort. We should go see our friend first, then we can go here, huh? We'll go over there next. Hi. Is this charged? It's been on the whole time. I didn't think it's charged. It looks like it's kind of charged. Okay. 6.6 gigabytes. It's not fully charged. Hi, good Mecca. Yeah, 7, 8. It might not be the one that locks. This thing could have gone off anytime. I don't know if this one's on because of the one of them's broken. Oh, alhamdulillah, hallelujah.